Welcome to part 2 of Graduate School Orientation. In this podcast, I will introduce you to many of the administrative procedures and policies that you will need to be aware of when you start your graduate career. First, I'll go over registration, tuition, and employment. Next, I'll introduce you to student accounts, which handles your bill through the bursar. After that, I'll briefly introduce you to financial aid policies. All of these sections will discuss tasks that need to be completed using the Student Online Access to Records, or SOLR. Your student ID number is the logon for SOLR, and instructions for your first logon and setting up your password can be found at this website. You should have received your student ID number by email during the admissions process. The last part of this podcast is a brief interview with Academic Integrity Officer Wanda Moore. Once you receive an email which says you are a matriculated student, you can get your student ID card. The campus card office is in the lobby of the administration building, and you will need to bring government-issued ID. Your student ID card can be used for a variety of resources on campus, such as your meal plan, a library card, and gym access. When you first get to campus, there are several important dates that you should be aware of. These dates affect both your registration and your bill. Obviously, these dates change every semester, so for precise dates, please check the registrar's website each semester. First day of classes. This is when late registration officially begins. You must enroll in at least one course before this date in order to avoid a $50 fee. You do not need to be fully registered by this date, but you need to have registered for at least one course before the first day of classes. Day 5 of classes. This is the last day to drop a course without tuition liability. Any courses dropped on or after Day 6 will be liable for some tuition. The schedule for tuition liability can be found on the registrar's website. Swaps Week. Days 11 through 15 of classes. In order to change a course at this point, drop, add, or swap, you must petition the graduate school. Swaps cannot be processed online. Day 15 of classes is Snapshot Day. On this day, registration is frozen. If you're receiving financial aid or tuition scholarship or for some other reason need to maintain full-time student status, you must be completely registered for a full-time graduate course load by Snapshot Day. Eligibility for financial aid, TA support, tuition scholarships are finalized on Day 15. So how many credits equals full-time? At Stony Brook, all graduate students are assigned a G level based on how far along in their career they are and whether they are a master's or doctoral student. This G level determines how many credits of graduate courses you need to register for in order to be considered full-time. All entering students with less than 24 grad level credits, the majority of new students, should register for 12 credits to be considered full-time. A grad level course is one that is listed in the course listing with a number of 500 or greater. For example, in my department, BEE 599 is Research in Ecology and Evolution. If you're a master's student, this is the G1 level. If you're a PhD student, this is the G3 level. Once you have 24 graduate credits, you move up to the next level. For master's students, this is G2, and you will need to register for 9 credits to be considered full-time. For PhD students, this is G4, and you will also need to register for 9 credits to be considered full-time. PhD students have a third level, G5, which you are promoted to upon finishing all degree requirements except your dissertation, also known as ABD or Advanced Candidacy. Full-time G5 students must also register for 9 credits. When first logging on to SOLR, you may notice that you have a hold on your account. These are registration blocks, which can be put on your account for a variety of reasons. For example, unpaid parking fines or overdue library books. In this context, however, the graduate school will typically put a hold on your account for a future semester if they are waiting for a document. For instance, if you just graduated from undergrad and are waiting for your final transcript, the graduate school will place a hold on your account for your second semester. This hold will be removed once the graduate school has received your final transcript. Always remember to check the date of your hold, and don't assume that you can't register simply because you have a hold on your account. Other holds you may encounter are health or finances related, which simply require an electronic signature to be removed. so make sure you click on each hold and read any information about it in your Solar account. Many graduate students are offered financial support by their department in the form of a tuition scholarship and/or an assistantship. The details of these awards should be in the offer letter you received from your department. On Solar, your tuition scholarship will show up as financial aid, while your stipend money from an RA, TA, or GA will come in the form of a biweekly paycheck. You can ask your graduate program coordinator when you should expect your first paycheck, typically 2 to 4 weeks after the semester starts. There are 2 payrolls on campus, state payroll, which covers TAs and GAs, and the Research Foundation, which covers RAs. These 2 payrolls are the source of all major administrative differences between being a TA, GA, or an RA. These differences are listed here, and we will talk more about them in the next podcast when we discuss health insurance. These positions qualify you for subsidized health insurance, but you must personally enroll in the correct plan in order to get coverage. See Orientation Podcast Part 3 for more information on health insurance. State payday is biweekly on Wednesday, and research payday is biweekly on Friday. When you talk to your coordinator for the first time, make sure to find out what payroll you're on if you don't already know. Stony Brook University is a state school, which means that tuition for in-state residents is much less expensive than for out-of-state residents. This means that you will want to declare New York State residency as soon as possible in order to receive the reduced tuition rate. If you have a tuition scholarship, this is typically a requirement for your scholarship, and you must apply for residency as soon as possible. Please refer to the directions for declaring residency on the Bursar's website. If you fail to declare residency, your tuition bill may exceed the amount awarded to you in your tuition scholarship, and you are responsible for the difference. Any questions about New York State residency can be directed to the Student Accounts Office. Unfortunately, international students cannot apply for residency. Only U.S. citizens and permanent residents who are moving to New York from another state within the United States. Finally, if you've come to Stony Brook without any financial support, but wish you had some, there are various opportunities on campus for employment, including hourly wage jobs and, more rarely, GA positions in various offices on campus. You can find on-campus jobs through the University Career Center's website and their job database, ZebraNet. Now we will move on to the second part of this podcast and discuss student accounts. All of the billing at Stony Brook is done electronically, so there are no paper bills. Like registration, all of the information and payment options are available online through your Solar account. Solar will automatically email you when there is a statement available and regarding payment due dates. Payment can be processed through Solar in the form of a credit card or electronic check. If you miss a due date, you will be notified by Solar via email, and a late fee will be charged. We'll discuss late fees in more detail in a moment. Because Solar contains your academic records, there's no way to grant third-party access to your bill. That is, your parent or employer or another third party who is planning on paying your bill will not be able to log directly onto your Solar account. You do have the option of adding 2 additional billing notification email addresses if you would like to have a parent or other third party be notified of new bills. The link for this feature is under Campus Financial Services Set Billing Notification Email. Billing statements are generated by the 15th of each month, and as the semester approaches, they are generated more frequently. If you register for the fall semester before July 15th, your bill will be due on August 15th. If you register between July 15th and the start of classes, your bill will be due on September 15th. For the spring semester, if you register before December 15th, your bill will be due on January 15th. If you register between December 15th and the start of classes, your bill will be due on February 15th. There are consequences for missing billing due dates. You will not be disenrolled or dropped from your classes, but depending on your credit load, you will incur a late fee every month for each month that the bill remains unpaid. At the end of the semester, student accounts will send you a final billing notification if there is anything left over. An outstanding balance will prevent you from registering for the following semester, your transcript will be held, and your accounts may be sent to a collection agency. The link to view and pay your bill is under Campus Financial Services, Account Information, Payment. When you click on this link, you will see the following information: a statement about what you owe with a link to the Bursar's website and information about payment. Underneath this statement, there will be a link for every semester in which you're enrolled at Stony Brook and the total amount charged, the total amount paid, anticipated aid, and the amount due. If you click on the semester link, it will take you to a breakdown of all your semester charges, including tuition, fees, and financial aid. We'll talk more about financial aid in a few minutes. Any refunds that you were owed will be listed here, and at the very bottom will be a link to pay your bill. This chart summarizes the tuition information for spring 2012. Current rates can be found at the Bursar's website at the link on the bottom of the screen. You will notice 4 possible tuition rates depending on 2 things: whether you are a New York State resident or not, and what your G level is. In addition to your tuition, you will need to pay a comprehensive fee that includes all of the fees listed here. The only fee that we will discuss later is the required student health insurance. Depending on your employment status, you may be eligible to waive this fee if you have health insurance from another source, such as a spouse or employer. More on this in Podcast 3. If you expect a refund, either from financial aid or because you overpaid your bill, any refund you are expecting will be in the form of a refund check. These take 1 week to generate, and the Bursar's office only processes them once per week. In order to get your refund check, you will need to go to the Bursar's office in the administration building. Alternatively, you can sign up for direct deposit on Solar. Direct deposit is much faster, and it's a free service that runs every day. If you're paying your own tuition, there is a payment plan to spread one semester's tuition out over 3 or 4 payments. This is called TOP, or Time Option Payment Plan. You can enroll in TOP directly in Solar via the link next to your bill. There is a non-refundable $40 application fee each semester that you enroll in TOP. Depending on when you enroll, you will get your bill broken down into 3 or 4 payments. If you fail to make a payment, you will be removed from the payment plan. As mentioned earlier, there is tuition liability for courses that are dropped after day 5 of classes. This chart shows the tuition liability schedule for spring 2012. Please check the Bursar's website for the current tuition liability schedule, and be sure to contact the Bursar if you do plan to withdraw and have questions about what you will be liable to pay. Moving on to financial aid. The financial aid office is located in the administration building, room 180. You can check their website for current office hours and for contact information via phone or email. If you want financial aid, the first thing you need to do is fill out your FAFSA as early as possible. Now that you're a graduate student, you are considered financially independent and do not need your parents' information to fill out the FAFSA. Graduate students are also eligible for loans. There are 2 types of loans that the graduate students can get through FAFSA: a direct unsubsidized loan and a Graduate Plus loan. There are annual loan limits and a lifetime loan limit. Annually, you cannot receive more than $20,500 from the unsubsidized loan. For the Grad Plus loan, you can receive cost of attendance minus any other financial aid, for example, a tuition scholarship or unsubsidized loan. The lifetime limit for a graduate student is $138,500 for the unsubsidized loan. If you reach this limit, you will still be eligible for a Graduate Plus loan as long as you are enrolled and matriculated. Note that the Grad Plus loan will check your credit and deny you the loan if you have adverse credit. The unsubsidized loan does not check credit and will not deny you financial aid based on your credit history. In order to stay eligible for loans, you must be enrolled at least half-time. FAFSA allows you to apply for federal work-study money as well. If you are receiving a tuition scholarship, that comes straight from your department, but will show up as anticipated aid in Solar. Your cost of attendance will depend on your G level and your residency. Your loan eligibility is based both on direct costs and indirect costs of attendance. Direct costs include things like tuition, on-campus housing costs, meal plan costs, anything that the university directly bills you for. Indirect costs include things like books, supplies, transportation to campus, and off-campus housing and meal costs. All of your financial aid information is available on Solar. Remember holds? The Financial Aid Office is one of those offices that can place a hold on your account if they are missing documents from you. Every academic year that you qualify for financial aid, you will need to log on to Solar to accept or decline your awards. This includes both loans and work study. Here, you can check the award detail for your loan. You want to make sure that the assumptions are correct, for example, your G level. Also check the state of residence and make sure your financial aid load matches what you're actually registered for example, half-time versus full-time. When you accept a loan, you have the option to reduce the amount, and the instructions for this are right on Solar. Once you have accepted aid, your loan will show up in your anticipated aid column on your tuition bill. Another item you might see on your Solar account is the to-do list. For financial aid, this is where you fill out and sign your master promissory note for a direct loan. If you need to do this, the to-do list item will show up in your Solar account with instructions on how to fill out and submit the master promissory note. Check back on Solar about a week or so after accepting your aid package to see if you have a to-do list item. If for some reason your aid is held up, for example, for not signing a master promissory note, it will not disperse. If aid does not disperse within 26 days of the scheduled dispersal date, it will be removed from your anticipated aid, and you may owe late fees on the amount of your bill that is still unpaid. So be careful and keep an eye on your Solar account for holds and to-do list items. Finally, be aware that if your enrollment changes, such as dropping a class or reducing from full to half-time or less than half-time, it will likely impact your financial aid. Before you drop a class or make other changes to your enrollment that result in a change of credit load, be sure to contact the Financial Aid Office to discuss how it might impact your aid. 6 credits is considered half-time for all graduate students, so you must maintain at least 6 credits to be eligible for loans. If you are over-awarded, you may see a decrease in your loans. If you withdraw mid-semester, the Financial Aid Office will run a calculation to determine what financial aid out of your total package you actually earned. For example, if you drop all of your classes after the 100% liability date that we talked about earlier, your loans may only cover a portion of this cost, even if they have already dispersed and paid your entire tuition. In this case, you will be billed for the difference once the Financial Aid Office has run their calculation and returned the unearned portion of your aid package. To avoid running into a situation like this, make sure to contact the Financial Aid Office before you withdraw. Phew! So, I know that was a lot of information to digest, and you might want to go back and watch some sections again. Let's review. In this podcast, first we talked about graduate registration, tuition, and employment from minute 1 to 7:43. Next, we talked about student accounts and the bursar's office from 7:45 to 12:49. And we just finished discussing financial aid from 12:50 to 18:09. To close out this podcast, I want to introduce you to Wanda Moore, an academic integrity officer here on campus. She will briefly tell you about her role in the university, and after that, it's on to health insurance in podcast 3.
Hi, my name is Wanda Moore. I'm the Academic Integrity Officer here at Stony Brook University. I'm here to talk to you for a couple of minutes about academic judiciary. But before I go into all of that, I strongly advise you to take advantage of the Academic Judiciary's website. Read in detail on how to avoid being reported for academic dishonesty. Read in detail on what can occur, the consequences of academic dishonesty. The Academic Judiciary's website is very detailed and has a wealth of information. It talks about what is academic dishonesty, how to prevent academic dishonesty, on what happens if a student is reported for academic dishonesty. In the graduate school, there's policies and procedures that are set up in place to address issues of academic dishonesty. It's unfortunate that that does occur here at the university. My office receives over 200 reports every academic year. Students are reported for plagiarism. Students are reported for quote-unquote cheating. Well, we really don't have cheaters here at the university, so I don't like even using that C word. Here at the university, we have approximately 200 students who are reported, but those 200 students aren't cheaters. Those are 200 students who made poor decisions. So be one of those students who make the right decision. After plagiarism, which is the highest report of academic dishonesty, unauthorized collusion is the second report of academic dishonesty that's really reported to my office. When students work together, because in graduate school you will be asked to work on group projects. You're going to work on group projects. However, when you submit your work, make sure it's your work, not the work of your partners, not the work of your group members. It has to be your work. When you work together as a group, separate. Write your own paper, because unfortunately when you discuss information, someone may be using your information as well as others in their group. Then you will all be reported for academic dishonesty. How to protect yourself: separating yourself from the group, writing your own paper. You won't be reported for academic dishonesty. You may be asked to submit your document to the university's Safe Assign. What Safe Assign is a plagiarism detection program. And believe it or not, students are reported 12%, 15%, 80%. There's not a threshold of being reported for plagiarism. Take the time to read your paper. And of course, you're citing it. But unfortunately, a lot of students are reported because they did not quote. So when you retrieve that information, we're not saying that you cannot use another source, a textbook, internet. We're not saying that. But most important, make sure you quote. Quoting and citing. Citing and quoting. That's most important. So again, because of those two highest reported academic dishonesty, plagiarism and unauthorized collusion, I'm asking you to take the time out, read the information on the Academic Judiciary's website. It will help you or assist you in those areas so you will not be reported or called in or emailed regarding an academic dishonesty matter. If you are a TA, please read the Academic Judiciary's website on reporting academic dishonesty. Of course, the first and foremost thing you must do is discuss this with the course instructor. If reporting academic dishonesty, I like to stress to TAs, to reporting instructors, to staff members who report students to my office, that once you submit your report, then my office takes it from there. Please feel free to call me or email me if you have a question regarding academic dishonesty. My number is on the Academic Judiciary's website. My email address is also. Wow, so that's all I have to say. Again, any questions, concerns that you may have, please feel free to call me, email me. Like I always end my presentations, I tell students that in my role as the Academic Integrity Officer, a lot of times students don't want to see me or talk to me on campus because no one wants to be associated with me. Oh, you know that woman? Oh my goodness. Please feel free to acknowledge me on campus. It's okay to acknowledge the Academic Integrity Officer on campus. Just because you acknowledge does not mean you're associated with academic dishonesty. However, I'd like to close by saying that I wish you all the best of luck. My office is available to you as the other offices on campus. Take advantage of the resources. And again, best of luck to you.